Welcome to WAC Basketball Preview Day here in Denver, Colorado. I am now joined with Jarrod Olson, the head coach for the women's team at CBU. How are you doing today?
Doing good, thanks.
Good. So you guys are picked second in this year's preseason poll. It's the second year in the WAC. Are expectations a little bit higher this year?
I mean, I definitely think they're a little bit higher, but preseason polls really don't make as much of a difference. But we definitely have high expectations for ourselves. We finished second in the league last year in the regular season, and we have a lot of good players coming back, so we're looking forward to getting out there and doing the best we can and seeing how high we can finish.
You guys made it to the WNIT last year. That's pretty exciting for your first year in the WAC.
Yeah, we were pretty excited about it. It was about the best outcome we could have other than just winning the regular season. And so it was a great challenge to go in there. We had a chance to win in that game. We ended up losing, but gave us a taste of what it's like to play in a postseason tournament, and we were really happy to do it.
If you would look back now, last year, would you ever expect that?
I mean, that was our goal. So, I mean, we were definitely shooting for that. We were pretty thankful that we were able to go that far. Expectations, I think those things changed as the year went along. Like, there were times where we were just, like, hoping to win the next game, and then other times where you start to think, well, hey, maybe this is really possible. And as the year went on, we definitely felt more comfortable with our team, and we started playing a little bit better. And it definitely felt like something was going to be a possibility, and we were really, proud that we were able to get it done.
Brittany Thomas, first team all WAC for preseason. What makes her so deserving of that honor?
Well, I mean, she's really good at basketball. I would say it's probably the main thing. I mean, she's a really good rebounder, good defender. She's got a great spirit about her. She plays, definitely glad she's on our team, and I'm looking forward to seeing how great of a year she can have. I think the sky's the limit for her, and I'm really excited to see where she can take things.
She saw a couple double teams last year. Do you guys practice for that?
She has a hard time in practice sometimes guarding our backup center, Caitlin, because Caitlin stretches her a lot. She shoots threes, and so Brittany's challenged at practice pretty regularly on a daily basis, and definitely we'll spend some time working on her, having to pass the ball out of a double team. But she's got her hands full at practice most of the time. We try to stack the deck against her a little bit.
Who do you think we can expect to see really step up for this season?
I think we've got Brittany and Ani Olaita, who's was a returning player that played a lot of minutes for us last year. Georgia Dale was another guard that came in really good shape this year. Lexi Rahm's a senior that should have a pretty good season. And we have a lot of really good players, and I think one of the strengths of our team is just the balance and the depth and just how they share the ball, and they really play as a group. And I think that's, anybody could step on in any given night.
You named a lot of returners right there. Is there anybody new that we could expect to see?
The new players are, we've got a couple, 5 freshmen, and they're all kind of like trying to figure out, how things work. So I think it's a little early for them to kind of like forecast who's going to really make a big difference. But they're all pretty talented, and I think time will tell to see which ones kind of step up, and who's a little bit more ready earlier on and who's maybe better a little bit later on. And, they all kind of go at their own pace. So, I'm pretty happy with the group we have that's new, but who knows how that's going to turn out.
A lot of unknowns, huh?
Yes.
Alrighty. I will toss you over to the media now.
Last year, folks weren't really sure what to expect from your team. Turned into a trip to the WNIT. You talked about it a little bit, but what does that immediate success mean for your program?
Obviously, it kind of like gives you a little bit of a foundation to kind of like build from, kind of legitimizes you a little bit. As a transitioning team, there's a lot of questions, do you belong in Division I? How good are you going to be? And I think that kind of like sets a good bar for us to kind of shoot for. Now, obviously finishing second in the conference is, if we could do that every year, I think that would be great. But at some point you want to win it, but there's going to be some years too where, getting second is a great achievement, and I felt like it was a great achievement for us last year. Making the WNIT, it's a big deal. It's about, in terms of like Division I basketball at our level, like I think making that tournament puts you in some company with some really talented teams. And, if we can get back there again this year, well, that'll be a real success for us.
Jarrod, Kyle McDonald with WAC Hoops Digest. Does it help, though, that your women's team has had the success it had prior to the transition over your 7 seasons at California Baptist?
It certainly put us in a good spot because we have a good culture for winning, just a good culture for, a lot of different a lot of different things. You know, it's a good place to go to school. CBU is a great school. Our team has been successful, so we're able to get people that want to come and be a part of that. You know, and it kind of, like I said, just the culture being set there of being successful certainly helped us coming into last year. You know, but I think just everything being new last year was also kind of like gave us a little bit of a spark. You know, it was a new league, just a completely set of different teams that we were playing against. So it kind of gave us a little bit of a boost going into the year, which we were pretty excited about that.
Coach, you mentioned Brittany. She averaged 16 points and 11 rebounds last year and led the WAC in field goal percentage. What does she do for an encore this year?
Well, I mean, I think that she would probably view most of her success in terms of the team, you know, and how well our team's going to do. You know, maybe can we have a little bit better record? Can we maybe have a chance to win it, you know, going into the last week of the season? You know, can we make the WNIT again? You know, I think Brittany is a really good team player. And I think that most of her goals would be centered around like how good our team can be. She does a lot of things that, I mean, you mentioned some easy statistics to kind of rattle off for her, but she does a lot more than just, you know, grab rebounds for us. She does a lot of things that people don't notice. And so I think that, you know, for her, I think just how well our team does will kind of determine, well, how well she does and how well our team does will kind of determine how successful she views things.
You guys are picked second in both polls this year. How different is it to be up near the top, having that target on your back versus, you know, last year where people didn't really expect as much?
I mean, I think it's kind of more of a fun thing to talk about this time of year. We don't play any teams in the WAC until January anyway, so by that time everyone's forgotten about the preseason polls and you kind of know who's good and who's not. I think if anything, it just kind of shows that the league does kind of respect us as a team, you know, but at the same time, if we'd have, I don't even remember what we were picked last year, but did that affect the way we played? No. I mean, I think we're just going to go into every game knowing it's going to be difficult. We know the league is tough to win. I mean, New Mexico State's won it 5 years in a row, so I mean, basically finishing second is really kind of a big deal because everybody's going to vote for New Mexico State, number one. They're the ones with the target. And so everybody's still kind of gunning for them. It's kind of them and everybody else right now. So we feel like we have a lot to prove still.
How do you feel about going to the Greater Victoria Invitational where you get to play Stanford, who is a women's power?
Yeah.
And then you either get to face Syracuse or Houston, you know, second round depending on the outcome. How does that help you guys get better than what you already are competing against that kind of competition?
Obviously, those are some really good teams. We're gonna have our hands full. We're just looking for a challenge that weekend. We want to play the best teams we can play, and to prepare us for the conference season. Our goal would be to, you know, go into the WAC play having played some teams that were really going to push us and kind of expose some of our weaknesses. So we have time to improve on those, and coming into the conference season being the best team we can be. And I think playing those teams will give us the best chance.
So I have to ask, because the men's team is kind of similar in their scheduling where you guys have a lot of non-conference home games in the CBU Event Center.
Yeah.
Is that just to kind of help build the brand in the Division I transition, or is it just part of the way the scheduling plays out for you guys?
I think for us, I mean, you'd have to ask Coach Croy about the men's side of it, but I mean, for us, I think that's just kind of how things worked out this year. And then I think next year will be a little bit more balanced. Last year we were on the road quite a bit. I think just when the scheduling, when you transition from 2 to 1, there's some kind of weird things that kind of happen, which is probably why they have a 4-year period of transition. And hopefully by the end of that cycle, we're a little bit more balanced. But we do love playing at home. You know, we've got great support at CBU. We've got what I think is the best gym to play in. And so we're definitely thankful to be there more frequently, just because the support we have is awesome. And we're looking forward to doing really well there this year.
The event center is only a few years old. CBU just opened the new performance center as well. Can you talk about the investment that the school's making and how that affects your program, the athletic department, and the institution as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, CBU, if there's anything that you should know about CBU is they do things well. You know, when they're going to go all in on something, they really do go all in on something. And in my short time there, they've just made great improvements in every area. You know, you mentioned the facilities that have really improved. I mean, the food on campus is amazing. I mean, they're opening up something new to eat at every year, it seems like. And just our leadership with Dr. Ellis, Kent Dacus, Dr. Parker, like they just do a great job of just kind of raising the bar each year and giving us opportunities to succeed. And yeah, we're very thankful for that.
Alrighty, Coach. Well, we appreciate your time and best of luck this entire season.
Thank you very much.
No problem. All right, Chris Jans will be joining me next. Stay tuned.